Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. We're moving fast. It looks like we have Mike with us now. Hi, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you today? Where are you located at today, Mike?
I'm coming to you from Tacoma, Washington.
Fantastic. Glad to have you. You're just a close by neighbor. I'm just north of you. That's good. Hey, for a minute there, I thought that lubricants were boring. That wasn't very boring to me.
You put some exciting music to that. I'm feeling pretty pumped up this morning.
All right. Well, good. Hey, listen, let's talk a little bit about your company. Hey, Mike, who is Fuchs Lubricants and what do they do?
Fuchs Lubricants is an independent lubricants manufacturer supplying lubricants to manufacture across the globe. We're a global company.
I think that when people think about lubricants, they don't really, quite. I mean, I think about a lubricant and it's what I put in my car. All right. And I'm not certain that people really understand the full impact that it's having out there, today. So I wanted to ask you a little bit is that what does a lubricant do out there in manufacturing in the industry today?
As you look around in the world that we live in, there's lubricants in every aspect of our lives. And when we talk about machining in particular, lubricants play an important part. They're the part that's the ingredient in the manufacturing process that keeps things moving. And the slide that you're throwing up here, we had a conversation the other day and we were talking about different things and about lubricants. And Fuchs, here at Fuchs, we're all about providing technology that pays back. And whenever I go into a consultation with a customer or an ongoing relationship, I'm always looking to answer questions about, what am I doing to provide value to you? And this chart here is just kind of representing what your total spend in a shop would look like and the way that we see it as it breaking down. And when you look at the chart, the fluids themselves, they're a 15% cost in your overall cost. If I can affect any of the other parts in that pie chart there, I'm saving you money, and that's what I'm here to do, and that's what Fuchs is, here to help all of our customers with.
Okay, so I'm seeing from this chart that 15% of in general, 15% of the costs in a shop go to fluids or go to lubricants. Now, what you're telling me though is that those lubricants impact the tooling costs, though.
Correct. Yes. Yep. So the fluid itself is providing a cooling mechanism for the bit that's running across the piece of metal. And it's providing lubricity as it machines that part. So the lubricant's highly important to the manufacturing process. And
well, let's talk about that a little bit more. I want to dig into that just a little bit deeper. Is that you tell me that you have to select the right fluids for the right job, okay? And I see there's like 4 different major factors you're having to consider here. Can you talk to me about them a little bit, just briefly?
Yeah. So again, anytime you go into a consultation, there's basic questions that I'm looking to try and answer for the customer, and in selecting the optimum fluid for them, I got to ask myself, is it safe? I need to show the customer that it's a safe product, that it's good for the people, it's good for the environment, that Fuchs itself is being an environmentally friendly company, and that it's treating the equipment right, it's doing what it's supposed to do. The basic question: will it make the parts, and will it protect the parts and the equipment? In aerospace, we're looking at the approvals. Is it approved with the OEM? Do we have the Airbus? Do we have the Boeing? Do we have the Bombardier approvals? And we have fluids for all those different OEM manufacturers. So we have to ask ourselves, are we selecting the right product for the customer based off of those needs? Is it spec'd out for the equipment? Is it approved by the OEM there? And the overall environmental regulations, am I following the rules? Like here in Washington, for example, we don't like chlorines down here. But other states in the U.S., chlorines aren't an issue, and chlorine's king when it comes to that the extreme pressure additive that would be added to it. So we're a little bit more maybe limited in Washington State, but we got to take all those factors into play when we're selecting those fluids for them. And then the biggest question is it cost effective? What's my price per gallon? That's the question that always people want to talk about first. It's the last thing that I want to talk about because, again, going back to the previous slide, if I can affect any of those things in the pie chart, I'm going to save the company money. I'm looking for the overall cost savings. But tooling, so again, in there, tooling costs play a factor. Yeah. Productivity, scrap rate, how many parts can I make per tool before I need to change out?
Well, a couple of things that drive home to me, and what you just talked about. One is that we are always, of course, asking ourselves if something is safe. Okay. And so it's good to see that you have that at the top of the list. That's really important. But, I think that the next 2 things is that I'm not certain that I always think about is that, does this fluid work and meet the, design objectives, and how are you impacting the cost of an operation? How are you impacting the cost of tooling and things like that? Those are really just really good points, that you brought up. I just really think people people watching should think about that. Hey, listen, let's jump to this next slide that we have here and talk a little bit about, there's different areas that you're providing, lubricants and things. And really, can you talk to me a little bit about, what's happening out there in the industry, and, what are some of the trends, and what are you doing, and how are you addressing them?
Yeah, I've had a great opportunity this week, actually. Been up early because we've been connecting as a company globally. So, when you're connecting with the Germans, you're getting up early in the morning and have a conversation with those guys. Yeah. But these are the things as a company that we're looking towards. These are the things that we're always on the lookout for. How is e-mobility, how is electric car going to impact the overall manufacturing landscape? 3D printing, how does that affect your business and our business if we're printing something versus machining it? Alloys and light weighting, we're always looking to get lighter because that's going to affect fuel economy in the airplanes that we're manufacturing. And Industry 4.0 is a really interesting topic to dive into. And, for the brevity of what we're doing, for the folks that aren't aware of Industry 4.0, about 2011, it was an initiative kind of kicked off in Germany, looking at the Industrial Revolution and breaking it down into the 3 parts we've already experienced and what does the 4th part look like moving forward. And that's the automation piece of it, which then leads to how that affects the workforce, which would lead to work 4.0, and how that affects the worker. How is automation affecting the worker itself? And then regulatory issues across the globe constantly play a role in our business, as well as obviously right now we're in a health issue. How does this pandemic affect us? And were we prepared for it going into it? And Fuchs was strongly positioned going into this pandemic, and we're coming out of it a very, very strong company.
So it looks like you guys are pretty diversified. Yeah. Hey, listen, I want to throw a question back at Dean. Dean, you work with thousands of manufacturers, through your business. Is that, how do you see the impact of something like fluids and lubricants, across the industry? I mean, how does that impact businesses out there?
Well, there's no, talking about every aspect of manufacturing, there's no real small contributor. And, while people may not see the lubricants as the forefront, it really has a huge impact on the success of the companies.
Yeah.
And I see Fuchs, Mike, I don't know if you're prepared to talk about new products that you are developing or releasing, but they're constantly innovating. And, if you're not innovating, you're going to find yourself behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, and I know what you're alluding to there, Dean. And, as far as our global products, we're a company that's looking to, provide fluids across the globe. And what we're trying to do is that if you're manufacturing here in the United States, if you're manufacturing in China, if you're manufacturing in Germany, that you're able to have access to the same fluids across the board that meet the requirements of the most industrialized nations across the globe. So our global line of products we're really proud of them because they are manufactured in a way that they meet all the regulatory requirements across the globe, which at the end of the day, and you mentioned before, safety was at the top of mind. Safety is at the top of mind for Fuchs Lubricants. And we've removed a lot of the things that are looked badly upon as far as, how they might affect health and safety. And we've been able to, with our global line, take those completely out of the formulation, providing a better product altogether. So We're excited. We're on the cusp of releasing a lot of great stuff this year, and 2021 is going to be an awesome year for the manufacturing.
Good. Hey, Mike, I want to ask a follow-up question. Is that, of course, this program that we do is all focused on recovery and aviation, and how are companies helping each other right now to be successful? What kind of an impact are you making on the industry right now, during these difficult times? How can you actually help people?
Well, I'm going to take it back to more of a local level. So I'm servicing the Pacific Northwest region up here, and we're up. My facility that I work for is right across the border in Langley, BC. And so as a company, and we've had our challenges with the as a society with the border closures and everything going on, but super proud of the fact that we have not missed a delivery at all. Our drivers are able to get across the border. We're able to supply to our customers. As a company, we were positioned well going into this, and our raw material supplies have been steady throughout this whole ordeal. And our people have been able to work through this and be there for our customers. So the biggest part of recovery for me is being there for my customers and being one that can be trusted in the industry to show up. And evident with the first slide you put up with with me. That was up at an account up in Everett, Washington, large aerospace manufacturer. And that was during the pandemic time. So somebody just captured a snapshot and had sent it to me. And yeah, I mean, I'm there for my customers. And
that's good. Yeah, customer service and support is, so important. That's really important. And you talked earlier too about being able to impact the bottom line directly. I mean, how do you help people to impact the bottom line and reduce cost?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the pandemic, one thing that of course we all want it to go away, but it has started conversations, because before the pandemic, folks were just busy, don't have time for you, don't have time to look at that. As you stated, lubricants were kind of overlooked. It's just something I put in my car. We're having a lot more discussions with our customers and new customers about ways that we can save money. So the way that we impact the bottom line is with our research and technology. The video that you threw up in the first beginning of this, the introduction, that's our basic benchmark for what we're doing for the customer. That was a torque tap test bench. And basically they're just drilling holes, using fluids and benchmarking, can we help you do better? And the thing about Fuchs, we have a complete line of lubricants for our customers. So we can be the one-stop shop for everybody, where our competitors, they either make maintenance oils or they make coolants, and we do it all. So we're the one-stop shop. Our technology works.
Well, good. Well, listen, hey, we're going to wrap this part of the interview up here. And again, it's just impossible to have a complete discussion about all the things that you guys do and how you can help people and impact people. But I really like the fact that we overlook lubricants, and you can make a difference. All right, you can reduce cost by using the right lubricant, and you can also reduce other costs in the business, by using the right lubricant. And so I wanted to encourage people out there to reach out to Mike. Mike, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Website, email, what?
Website, email, fuchslubricants.com. My email is my name, last name, fuchs.com. And of course on my LinkedIn, link up with Mark, and you'll find me there. Reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with the right person. If I'm not the person, we'll find the right person to help you guys out.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, I like what you're doing, and I like how you're helping in the industry and providing customer service and support and helping people to reduce costs. Thanks for what you're doing in the industry, Mike.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, guys. Really appreciate being here.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, great. Hey, Dean, it's something people don't think about is how can lubricants, impact cost or impact the bottom line. That's just really interesting.
Unless you're, deep in the industry, it is something that seems to be invisible, but it's not. It really makes a difference as an end result.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, hey, listen, we're continuing to move on to our next interview speaker, and it's going to be Open Mind Technologies. And this is a good one. I really am looking forward to this. So let's watch a quick video and then jump right in.